The story begins in a fantasy world called Earthclear, a land where swords, magic, and deadly monsters are part of everyday life. Every person possesses a status window that displays their level, stats, and unique class. One day, a young man named Koji is relaxing under a tree, counting the money he's earned, when he suddenly hears a child screaming for help. A slime was moments away from killing a little boy and his father, but just before it could, a single coin comes flying through the air and completely obliterates the monster. The slime explodes into a pile of coins, leaving the father and son frozen in shock. As they turn around, they see Koji casually walking toward them as if nothing unusual happened. Since even weak monsters are dangerous for ordinary people, they can hardly believe someone defeated a slime with a single coin. Koji simply hands the boy some gold and casually explains that slimes usually drop around 100 bronze coins. To him, monsters aren't terrifying at all. They're basically walking ATMs with anger issues. The boy says monster hunting sounds way too dangerous, but Koji just smiles and starts walking away. Before he leaves, the curious kid asks if he's secretly the hero. Instead of answering, Koji opens his status window and reveals something even stranger. His class isn't hero or sage, it's villager, yet he's somehow level 999. In this world, Japan has evolved into the magical nation of Hexandria. Ever since monsters appeared, every child has been born with a special class. Most receive common classes like warrior, hunter, monk, thief, or sorcerer, while a lucky few awaken legendary classes such as hero, sage, or king. Villagers, however, are considered the weakest of them all, usually unable to grow beyond level 10. Yet somehow, Koji has completely broken that rule, becoming an existence that shouldn't even be possible. Elsewhere, a mysterious hooded girl heads toward an ancient cave said to contain the legendary sacred sword. Around the same time, Koji arrives in the city of Valman and visits the Adventurers Guild. After turning in his quest materials, he casually collects a reward of 5 gold coins, leaving the surrounding adventurers speechless. Most people would have to risk their lives clearing countless quests to earn that much, but Koji treats it like pocket change. Checking the quest board, he realizes he still needs over 4,500 more gold to reach his personal goal. Spotting a quest involving monsters inside the ancient cave, he immediately decides that'll be today's farming spot. Meanwhile, the kingdom's young hero, Rex, gathers the townspeople to announce the start of his grand mission. He explains that monsters continue multiplying at an alarming rate, forcing humanity into endless battles just to survive. According to Rex, defeating monsters isn't enough because they're constantly being created by the demon race's mana. The only way to save the world, he declares, is to wipe out the demon king and exterminate the entire demon race. While everyone listens to the passionate speech, Koji quietly stands in the crowd, casually eating an ice cream like this world-ending announcement is just another Tuesday. Rex then asks if anyone is worthy enough to join his party. An experienced level 86 warrior confidently steps forward, but Rex instantly rejects him, calling him nothing more than dead weight. The adventurers are outraged, but Rex silences everyone by revealing his own status window, level 90 hero. Someone questions why the sage standing beside Rex is allowed to join despite being only level 42. Rex explains that her legendary sage class gives her extraordinary support magic, making her far more valuable than fighters with higher levels. He also reveals that she's Princess Crawl, third daughter of King Simon, who has chosen to risk her life for the kingdom. Even after hearing that, a level 80 priest volunteers to join, but Rex turns him down, saying he's too old for such a dangerous mission. Then a younger level 70 priest steps forward, only to be rejected because Rex believes he's already reached his limit and has no room to grow stronger. The adventurers are completely baffled by his excuses. Finally, a shy young priestess named Tina nervously asks if someone like her, who's only level 50, could ever be worthy of joining the hero's party. Everyone expects another rejection, but to their surprise, Rex accepts Tina without hesitation. After noticing that every new recruit just so happens to be a beautiful girl, Koji reaches a hilarious conclusion. This guy isn't assembling a hero party, he's assembling a harem. From where he's standing, Koji figures Rex is just chasing fame by defeating the Demon King while traveling with a group of pretty girls. When another attractive volunteer is accepted, he completely loses interest and heads for the ancient cavern instead. After all, monsters mean money, and money means a fancy sushi dinner. Not long after entering the cave, Koji runs into a blue devil. The monster looks intimidating, but he casually one-shots it and picks up the dropped coins like he's doing his daily shopping. He keeps farming blue devils one after another until one finally drops a rare horn infused with demonic mana. It's apparently worth a fortune, although Koji has absolutely no idea why anyone would pay that much for it. While working toward his goal of defeating 30 blue devils, he unexpectedly crosses paths with Rex's party. At that very moment, Rex slices a blue devil in half with a single swing, earning plenty of admiration from the girls. Tina notices Koji watching from a distance, but but he immediately hides behind a wall, having zero interest in getting involved with the overly confident hero. Deeper inside the dungeon, Princess Kral enthusiastically leads the group through the maze. The mage Parna playfully teases her excitement, and Kral admits she's relieved because most people are too formal around her due to her royal status. Tina suggests they all become friends, and the princess happily agrees. As they continue exploring, Parna asks the obvious question. If the Demon King's castle is somewhere else, why are they searching this cave? Rex explains that the dungeon hides the legendary sacred sword. A secret path marked with royal crests leads to its resting place, and only the royal family knows its location, which is why Princess Kral is guiding them. Eventually, they reach an ancient altar where the sacred sword awaits. According to legend, only a level 90 hero or someone even stronger can wield it. While the girls are amazed, Parna wonders why the kingdom never used such a powerful weapon before. Rex explains that meeting the level requirement alone isn't enough. The sword takes years to master, so the kingdom preserved it until the perfect hero appeared. And since Princess Kral insisted on joining this dangerous journey, the king finally decided it was time for Rex to claim the sacred sword and use it to protect her. Filled with confidence, Rex declares that once he claims the sacred sword, he'll become humanity's greatest savior. The girls excitedly imagine the adventures waiting for them, convinced that this legendary weapon will help them defeat the Demon King with ease. Elsewhere in the dungeon, the mysterious hooded girl continues wandering through the maze, completely unaware that her small demon horns are sticking out beneath her hood. At the same time, Koji is surrounded by another group of blue devils, but as usual, they don't last long. Within moments, the monsters are reduced to a pile of coins. While collecting the loot, Koji notices something strange. There are far more monsters in the cave than usual. Just then, the hooded girl runs past him. Koji warns her that blue devils are waiting ahead, but to his surprise, none of the monsters attack her. Instead, they calmly move aside and let her pass as if she were one of them. After finishing off the remaining monsters, Koji can't help but become curious about the mysterious girl and quietly follows her. Meanwhile, Rex's party is having a much harder time. Endless waves of blue devils keep attacking them, and even Parna admits the dungeon feels far more dangerous than expected. Tina keeps healing everyone, but her mana is nearly exhausted. Feeling like she's holding the team back, she apologizes, especially after seeing Parna fight without taking a single hit. Parna reassures her with a smile, saying she's survived much tougher dungeons before. Princess Kral also blames herself for slowing everyone down, but Rex encourages the group, reminding them they're finally about to reach the sacred sword. When they enter the chamber, everyone stops in shock. Standing alone before the altar is the mysterious hooded girl. Princess Kral immediately senses overwhelming demonic mana coming from her, revealing that she's a demon. At the same time, Rex notices something even worse. The legendary sacred sword is nowhere to be seen. Convinced the girl stole it, he accuses her without giving her a chance to explain. The frightened girl insists the sword was already missing when she arrived, but Rex refuses to believe her. Certain she's the enemy behind everything, he orders his entire party to attack. The little girl closes her eyes, expecting to die, but just before their attacks can reach her, a blur flashes across the room. When the dust settles, everyone is left speechless as they see Koji standing in front of her, having blocked every attack with ease. Koji immediately scolds the party for attacking a helpless child, leaving Rex stunned by the strength he just witnessed. Curious, Rex asks what class he belongs to, but Koji casually replies that he's just an ordinary villager. Rex naturally assumes he's lying or using some powerful magic item, but Koji simply opens his status window. Princess Kral confirms that it's genuine, yet she can't understand why someone so powerful would protect a demon. Put on the spot, Koji comes up with the world's most suspicious excuse. He claims the little demon girl is actually his younger sister and says her horns are nothing more than a fashion accessory. To make the story slightly more believable, he shows everyone the devil horns he collected earlier, explaining that they also give off demonic mana. The explanation sounds incredibly sketchy, but the party reluctantly lets it slide. Still unconvinced, Rex asks what happened to the legendary sacred sword. After thinking for a moment, Koji casually admits that he found it years ago and sold it for a few coins. That answer nearly gives Rex a heart attack. Furious, he explains that the sacred sword is one of the royal family's greatest treasures, while Koji repeatedly apologizes, insisting he genuinely had no idea it was so valuable. Completely baffled, Rex asks one final question. If only a level 90 hero can pull the sacred sword from its altar, Then how did a mere villager manage to remove it? Rather than answering, Koji casually walks over to the massive stone pedestal and grabs it with one hand. Then, without the slightest effort, he lifts the entire stone platform into the air, leaving everyone in the room too stunned to say a single word. Only then does Koji reveal his real status, level 999 villager. Rex refuses to believe it's even possible. After risking his life against countless monsters, he's only managed to reach level 9. The thought that a mere villager has surpassed every known limit completely shatters everything he believed about the world. Princess Kral then asks how Koji plans to make up for selling the sacred sword, one of the royal family's greatest treasures. Believing someone this powerful could easily defeat the Demon King, she invites him to join their party. Even Rex agrees, saying Koji has what it takes to become the greatest hero in history. To their surprise, Koji rejects the offer without a second thought. He explains that he has no interest in fame, glory, or becoming humanity's savior. His only goal is to earn enough money to live a comfortable life. Besides, the Demon King has never done anything to him personally, so he sees no reason to hunt someone down simply because everyone else wants him dead. The little demon girl quietly listens while Princess Kral struggles to understand his way of thinking. Hoping to change his mind, she makes an unbelievable offer. If Koji defeats the Demon King and saves humanity, she'll marry him herself. Before Rex can even protest, Koji immediately declines. He says he doesn't think Rex's party is evil, but he has no interest in titles or recognition. He even points out that they're so focused on saving the world that they almost killed a helpless child standing right in front of them. With that, Koji starts walking away alongside the little girl. As he passes Rex, he briefly stops and quietly tells him that he still doesn't understand how the world truly works. The cryptic warning leaves the entire party speechless as Koji disappears into the depths of the cavern. Once outside, Koji prepares to go his own way, but the little girl suddenly asks him to marry her. Koji instantly shoots the idea down, telling her there's absolutely no chance he's marrying a child. Undeterred, she chases after him, refusing to give up. Trying to end the conversation, Koji awkwardly explains that he prefers older, mature women with an hourglass figure. Instead of getting discouraged, the girl says she isn't asking him to marry her now. She's willing to wait 3 years, or even longer if that's what it takes. Deciding that this conversation is heading somewhere way too dangerous, Koji quickly changes the subject and asks why she wanted the sacred sword so badly. The girl explains that her father has become seriously ill, and she feared that if a hero claimed the sword, they would eventually use it to kill him. Assuming her father must be someone important, Koji asks who he really is. After a brief hesitation, the girl reveals the truth. She's the daughter of the Demon King. Even Koji looks surprised for a moment before casually mentioning that he's actually met the Demon King several times before. Shocked by his answer, the girl wonders if that's why he refused to join Rex's mission. Koji shakes his head and says that's not the reason. In his eyes, killing the Demon King wouldn't solve anything because demon horns naturally produce mana that creates monsters, and those monsters instinctively attack humans. As a result, humans have every reason to fear demons, even if the demons themselves aren't directly responsible. The girl quietly admits she already understands that. Even so, she dreams of a future where humans and demons can finally live together in peace. Koji doesn't sugarcoat his response. As long as demons continue producing monsters, humanity will never accept coexistence. Hearing that, the girl asks why he's so different from everyone else. If humans and demons are enemies, why doesn't he hate them too? Koji simply shrugs, saying the entire conflict feels pointless to him before casually continuing on his way. Meanwhile, back inside the cavern, Rex's party is still frustrated that Koji showed up and completely ruined their plans. Princess Kral suggests returning to Valman to rethink their strategy, but Rex can't stop thinking about Koji's final warning. Those words continue to haunt him, making him wonder if Koji knows some hidden truth about the world. Although he doesn't have the answers yet, Rex becomes determined to grow even stronger. Not long afterward, Koji notices the little girl is still following him. Sighing, he reminds her once again that he has no intention of marrying a child. The girl quickly shakes her head and says that's not why she's following him anymore. Instead, she nervously asks if he could buy something for her. She explains that she's looking for a medicine called the Spirit's Blessing Potion, which is sold in the nearby town. Proudly, she says she's managed to save up 500 silver coins and only needs his help to buy it. Unfortunately, Koji immediately crushes her hopes. The potion doesn't cost 500 silver, it costs 10 gold coins, an amount far beyond what she has. After hearing the real price, the girl falls silent. Koji tells her to give up and go home because the medicine is simply too expensive. But just as he's about to leave, she quietly asks if he could lend her the remaining money instead. She explains that she has to save her father because if the Demon King dies, humanity won't stop there. They'll hunt down every remaining demon until none are left. Hearing that, Koji assumes she must hate humans, but instead, she calmly shakes her head. Alice calmly says that hatred has never solved anything, and it never will. Her dream is to create a future where humans and demons can truly live together in peace. Hearing those sincere words, Koji's attitude softens. Instead of arguing any further, he quietly decides to buy the spirit's blessing potion for her himself. Before leaving the dungeon, Koji wraps a special enchanted cloth around Alice's demon horns. The fabric suppresses the demonic mana leaking from them, making the horns disappear completely. For the first time, she looks just like an ordinary human girl. Overjoyed, Alice thanks him, and when Koji realizes he never asked her name, she happily introduces herself. With that, the two set off together toward the nearest town. As soon as they arrive, Alice can't contain her excitement. Having never visited a human town before, she's fascinated by every shop, street, and building she sees. Her curiosity is so obvious that a friendly shopkeeper immediately realizes she's a first-time visitor. Smiling warmly, he hands her a free apple and tells her she's welcome to visit anytime, leaving Alice pleasantly surprised by the kindness of humans. While exploring the town, Alice asks how much the apple normally costs. Koji tells her it's worth 150 bronze coins, which leads to a quick explanation of the currency system. 10,000 bronze coins equal 1 silver coin, and 10,000 silver coins make 1 gold coin. He also explains that the spirit's blessing potion is an incredibly rare medicine capable of curing almost any illness, which is why its price is so absurdly high. Only then does Alice realize how unrealistic her plan had been. She honestly believed her 500 silver coins would be enough, but now she understands she wasn't even close. As night falls, the two rent a room at a nearby inn. Alice immediately jumps onto the bed, amazed by how soft it feels, and excitedly looks around the room since she's never stayed at an inn before. Meanwhile, Koji packs his things and prepares to head back outside. Before leaving, he tells Alice to stay inside because he's going to buy the spirit's blessing potion. He also plans to meet an old friend, explaining they'll need another companion for the journey ahead. Since adventurers would attack Alice the moment they discovered she was a demon, he wants someone trustworthy to protect her whenever he's busy fighting. After reminding her to lock the door and not open it for strangers, Koji heads out. At the same time, high above the clouds, a terrifying demon rides atop a gigantic flying bird. Wearing a twisted grin, he declares that the time has finally come for humanity to tremble in fear. Not long after Koji leaves, someone knocks on Alice's door. Thinking he's already returned, she happily opens it without hesitation. Instead, she's greeted by an enormous mountain of muscles standing in the doorway. The giant's intimidating appearance scares her so badly that she freezes on the spot. A second later, Koji casually steps out from behind the massive figure and explains that this is the friend he mentioned earlier. The three sit down for tea, and Koji introduces his old friend, Takako. At first glance, Takako looks nothing like the peaceful monks Alice imagined. Smiling, she introduces herself as a level 124 monk and says Koji has already explained Alice's situation. She promises to protect her no matter what happens. Takako admits she wasn't always so open-minded. There was a time when she believed every demon deserved to die. But everything changed after she was badly injured during a mission and a demon unexpectedly saved her life instead of finishing her off. That experience completely changed her perspective. She eventually retired from adventuring and now lives peacefully, running a bar and club in town. Wanting to become friends, Takako cheerfully suggests they take a bath together. Alice immediately panics, thinking it'd be incredibly awkward to bathe with a man. Seeing the misunderstanding, Koji casually reveals that Takako is actually a woman. Alice stares at her in complete disbelief before bluntly pointing out that her chest feels as solid as any man's. Koji jokingly explains that Takako trained so hard she basically turned all her chest fat into muscle. Takako does not appreciate the joke. Without saying a word, she spins around and lands a devastating roundhouse kick that sends Koji flying across the room, proving that making fun of her physique is a terrible survival strategy. A little later, Alice and Takako head to the hot spring together. Along the way, Alice wonders how Takako was able to hurt someone as absurdly strong as Koji. Takako explains that monks naturally possess physical strength far greater than ordinary villagers, but even then, the gap between her and Koji is enormous. In a real fight, she admits she'd have no chance against him. Curious, Alice asks how Koji became so unbelievable unbelievably powerful. Takako guesses that he spent his entire childhood endlessly hunting monsters, allowing him to keep leveling long after everyone else reached their limits. Even so, Alice still can't imagine how anyone could possibly reach level 999. Noticing Alice's worried expression, Takako assumes she's afraid someone else might one day become just as strong. She reassures her that it's impossible because Koji is missing something every other person in the world possesses. Naturally, Alice asks what that mysterious thing is, but Takako simply smiles and tells her she'll discover the answer herself if she keeps traveling with them. Before Alice can ask anything else, deafening crashes suddenly echo throughout the town. Everyone looks toward the sky in horror as giant wild boars begin literally falling from the clouds. The demon riding the enormous flying bird from earlier is dropping them into the town one after another, declaring it the official beginning of the Demon King's war against humanity. He unleashes the bloodthirsty monsters, which immediately begin rampaging through the streets and attacking innocent civilians. Watching the destruction spread across the town, Alice sadly realizes this attack will only make humans hate demons even more, pushing her dream of peaceful coexistence even farther out of reach. Meanwhile, Koji handles the crisis in the most Koji way imaginable. Instead of using flashy magic, he simply catches every charging giant boar with his bare hands and hurls it hundreds of meters into the sky. His reasoning is surprisingly practical. If he gathers them all first, he can kill them together later, collect every mana stone, and earn a bigger reward from the Adventurers Guild. The demon watching from above is completely dumbfounded. He can't wrap his head around the fact that someone is casually throwing giant monsters through the air like baseballs. Before he can recover from the shock, Rex and his party arrive to protect the town. Hoping to demonstrate the power of the hero, Rex unleashes a massive lightning spell that destroys one of the giant flying birds before it can drop another boar. As Rex prepares another attack, his spell is suddenly blocked by one of the very boars Koji had launched into the sky. The moment Princess Crawl spots Koji, she immediately suspects he's been working with the Demon King's army all along. Koji calmly denies it before pointing out that their strategy is the real problem. If they keep firing powerful spells at enemies flying above the town, any missed attack could crash back down onto innocent civilians. To drive the point home, he casually flicks Princess Crawl on the forehead, telling her to think before acting. Only then does the party notice something they had completely overlooked. Koji isn't using magic at all. Every monster he's dealing with is being handled through nothing but raw physical strength. The realization leaves everyone speechless. The strongest man they've ever met can't use magic. Alice and Takako arrive moments later, and even Alice is stunned to learn that someone as overwhelmingly powerful as Koji possesses no magical abilities whatsoever. Meanwhile, the demon commander continues shouting from the sky, declaring that resisting is pointless because no one can stand against the Demon King's army. Koji quietly asks Alice if she recognizes the demon leading the attack. After taking a closer look, she nods and identifies him as Menno, one of the Demon King's most trusted generals whose family has served the royal demon bloodline for generations. After witnessing Koji's overwhelming strength, Princess Crawl approaches him with a new idea. She believes humanity should openly display his power to intimidate the demons into backing down. Koji immediately rejects the plan. He explains that if the Demon King's forces are launching attacks across the world, they're probably gathering information and testing humanity's defenses. Revealing their strongest fighter now would only tell the enemy exactly where humanity's greatest strength lies. Instead, Koji believes they first need to understand why these attacks are happening, and the fastest way to find out is to ask Menno directly. Without another word, he bends his knees and launches himself high into the sky. Just before he begins to lose momentum, Takako leaps after him and delivers a perfectly timed kick that sends him flying even higher, straight toward the enemy. Moments later, Koji lands on top of the giant flying beast right in front of Menno. The demon general stares at him in complete confusion and demands to know who he is. Koji casually introduces himself as just a random villager passing by. When Menno asks how a human managed to jump all the way up there, Koji answers with a completely straight face that a human-faced gorilla launched him into the sky. The joke earns absolutely no reaction. Annoyed, Menno immediately fires a powerful spell at Koji, but instead of blowing him apart, the attack only burns a hole through his shirt. Assuming only the hero could survive something like that, Menno checks Koji's status, only to discover something even more unbelievable: level 999. Villager. Realizing just how dangerous Koji truly is, he immediately treats him as humanity's greatest threat. Koji calmly explains that he has no intention of killing the Demon King. He even reveals that he's become friends with Princess Alice. Naturally, Menno doesn't believe him, but Koji drops another bombshell by revealing that Alice is currently resting inside the very town Menno is attacking. Completely confused, Menno begins wondering if Koji is secretly working for the demons instead. Koji shakes his head and makes his position clear. He's not on humanity's side, and he's not on the demons' demon's side either. He's completely neutral. Still unable to understand his motives, Menno asks why a neutral person would interfere in this battle. Instead of answering directly, Koji asks a simple question. Did the Demon King personally order this invasion? Menno laughs at first, but Koji's serious expression quickly wipes the smile off his face. Koji explains that Alice told him the Demon King is gravely ill. The revelation catches Menno completely off guard because he had never heard anything about it. Seeing his reaction, Koji asks one final question. Are you absolutely certain those orders came directly from the Demon King? Then Koji says something that leaves Menno stunned. If the Demon King truly ordered this pointless invasion while innocent people are dying, then Koji himself will be the one to kill him. As Menno thinks back, Koji's words begin to make unsettling sense. When the invasion orders arrived, the Demon King never actually spoke to him. Instead, the king's closest advisor claimed those were the Demon King's wishes. At the time, Menno never questioned it because the Demon King didn't object. But Koji points out another possibility. What if the Demon King wasn't agreeing at all? What if he was being manipulated? The idea immediately angers Menno, but the more he thinks about it, the more it explains several things that never quite added up. Seeing Menno finally calm down, Koji lowers his guard. Rather than arguing any further, Menno decides he'll secretly return to the Demon King's palace and investigate the truth for himself. With that settled, Koji suddenly starts leaping from one giant flying beast to another, destroying them one after another. Confused, Menno asks what he's doing, and Koji casually replies that every monster drops valuable loot, so he might as well make some extra money while he's already up there. Down below, Rex and the others can only watch in stunned silence as Koji practically wipes out the entire flying fleet by himself. Not long afterward, healers begin calling for help, forcing Rex and his party to leave the battlefield and assist the injured civilians. Meanwhile, Menno wonders why Koji isn't letting him return to the Demon Kingdom immediately. Koji explains that if someone is secretly controlling the Demon King, then Menno has already become a dangerous witness. Returning openly would only make him an easy target. Instead, Koji suggests using the destruction of the flying fleet as the perfect cover. Everyone will assume Menno died in battle, allowing him to sneak back into the palace later without attracting suspicion. Menno quickly realizes it's a surprisingly solid plan. But just as Koji finishes explaining it, he destroys the final flying beast beneath their feet, sending both of them plummeting toward the ground. Menno screams in absolute panic while Koji casually says they'll probably survive. Not exactly the most reassuring choice of words. A little later, Menno regains consciousness to find Koji casually collecting coins from the defeated monsters as if nothing happened. Thanks to a demon's naturally durable body, Menno survives the fall, but he can't understand how a human walked away from the same impact without a single scratch. Koji doesn't even bother explaining. He's far too busy making sure he doesn't leave any loot behind. Finally convinced Koji isn't his enemy, Menno properly introduces himself and explains that he's faithfully served the Demon King for many years. Then he asks the question that's been bothering him all this time. If I'm a demon, why didn't you kill me? Koji simply smiles and tells him that since Menno is someone Alice cares about, he has no reason to hurt him. For the first time, Menno finds himself wondering why a human would show kindness to a demon. Koji looks at him like the answer should be obvious. He explains that demons aren't the ones directly attacking humanity. They merely produce mana, while the monsters born from that mana are the real threat. In his eyes, humans and demons have been fighting the wrong enemy all along. Instead of trying to wipe each other out, they should be working together to keep the monsters under control. After sharing his thoughts, Koji tells Menno that he'll return the very next day with Alice so they can visit the Demon King's palace together. Menno is stunned. If Koji really does that, he'll be branded a traitor by humans while also making an enemy of whoever is secretly controlling the Demon Kingdom. Koji simply smiles, saying he's not doing it for justice or politics. He's only keeping the promise he made to Alice. As Koji walks away, Menno can't help smiling to himself. Somehow, Princess Alice really did find the strangest human in the world. The following morning, Alice thanks Koji for sparing Menno's life. Koji shrugs it off, saying the demon general turned out to be a pretty reasonable guy, so there wasn't much reason to kill him in the first place. Looking around, he notices Takako is nowhere to be seen, and Alice explains that she went into town to buy supplies for their trip to the Demon King's palace. Koji nods and says they should arrange transportation while they're waiting. Alice remembers hearing the palace is only 6 days away, but Koji quickly corrects her. That's only possible if you're flying on one of the giant demon birds. Since they'll be traveling together on the ground, the journey will take much longer. Unfortunately, another problem immediately comes up. Ordinary horses refuse to go anywhere near demonic mana. While Alice's enchanted cloth hides her presence, Menno's aura would terrify any horse they tried to ride. After thinking it over for a moment, Koji reluctantly admits there is only one other option. Curious about Koji's idea, Alice follows him to check out their transportation. To her surprise, it's a group of centaur carriages. At first, the centaurs act incredibly arrogant, looking down on humans as inferior beings. But things take a bizarre turn when they start begging people to whip them, revealing they're complete masochists. Even Koji stands there in awkward silence for a moment before deciding it'd be much healthier for everyone if they found another way to travel. For once, Alice agrees without hesitation. Not long afterward, Takako returns with the supplies, and the group heads into the forest to meet Menno. The demon general immediately apologizes to Alice for attacking the town where she had been staying. Alice forgives him, knowing he never intended to put her in danger. Menno also thanks Koji once again for sparing his life and safely bringing the princess back. Just then, Takako casually comments on how handsome Menno is. The poor demon instantly looks horrified, prompting Alice to quickly explain that Takako is actually a kind person who's been looking after her. Only then does Menno finally relax. But the peaceful reunion doesn't last long. Out of nowhere, Rex and the rest of the heroes' party emerge from the surrounding bushes. After seeing Koji standing alongside demons, they've already reached their conclusion. He's betrayed humanity. Without listening to a single explanation, they accuse him of working with the Demon King's army and helping orchestrate the recent attack on the town. Despite all the accusations, Koji remains completely calm. Princess Kral confidently declares that this time she won't let him escape justice. The next second, Koji suddenly appears right in front of her and casually flicks her forehead, reminding her that she isn't nearly strong enough to threaten him in the first place. Humiliated, Rex immediately rushes forward and attacks with his sword, but Koji effortlessly dodges every swing while telling him to stop waving his weapon around like an amateur. Rex refuses to back down, insisting that demons are evil by nature and eliminating them is the duty of every hero. Parna supports him, pointing out that many innocent civilians were injured during Menno's attack. This time, Koji doesn't argue. Instead, he simply turns to Menno and tells him to apologize. Although Menno refuses at first, arguing that demons have suffered just as much because of humanity, Rex ignores everything he says. In his eyes, every demon is evil, and anyone protecting them is no different. That statement finally irritates Koji. He reminds everyone that before they discovered Alice was a demon, they all saw her as nothing more than an innocent little girl. So does learning she's the Demon King's daughter suddenly make her evil? The question leaves the entire party speechless. Koji openly admits that the Demon King's mana is responsible for creating monsters, so he won't stop anyone from confronting him over that. However, he also points out one important fact. The demons don't consciously control the mana they produce. If they have no control over it, then they don't deserve to be hunted down simply for existing. The moment he finishes speaking, Koji casually grabs Rex's sword and snaps it in half with his bare hands, leaving the hero frozen in shock. As Rex silently backs away, Tina hesitantly asks whether Menno should at least be punished for leading the attack on the town. Without saying a word, Koji forces the stubborn demon general to bow his head and sincerely apologize. Even then, Tina believes Menno should be arrested for his crimes. Koji understands her point, but asks everyone to give him a little more time. Right now, Menno is the only one who can help uncover the truth behind the Demon King's mysterious condition. Koji explains that there's a good chance the recent invasion wasn't ordered by the Demon King at all, leaving the heroes' party stunned. He tells them that the Demon King is seriously ill and has always wanted peace with humanity. Rex immediately dismisses the idea, arguing that no human could possibly know what the Demon King is thinking. Remaining calm, Koji reveals that he's actually met the Demon King several times before, so he knows what kind of person he is. Then he asks everyone a simple question: have the demons ever launched a full-scale invasion like this before? After thinking it over, the entire party realizes the answer is no. Despite years of conflict, their cities have never been attacked on this scale. Koji asks them to set aside their hatred for a moment and think logically about what he's saying. Unfortunately, Parna has no interest in listening. Convinced the demons have manipulated him, she suddenly fires a fireball straight at Koji. Realizing there's no point trying to reason with them, Koji signals to Kako, and the group immediately retreats. Rex's party tries to chase after them, but Tina trips and falls, forcing everyone to stop and help her instead. As they make their escape through the forest, Koji jokingly comments that Alice's dream of humans and demons living together isn't looking very promising. Alice, however, stays optimistic. She points out that, unlike before, the heroes' party actually listened to some of what Koji said. Even if they didn't believe him, she considers that a small step in the right direction. Their optimism quickly disappears when they see the transportation Menno arranged for them. To Koji's horror, it's the exact same group of centaurs he refused to ride earlier. Somehow, Menno managed manage to convince them to help. The trip that follows is so painfully awkward that everyone in the carriage ends up mentally exhausted, while the centaurs seem to be enjoying themselves far more than they should. Meanwhile, the hero's party discusses its next move. Rex can't stop thinking about Koji's words, but Parna insists they should head straight for the Demon King's castle. Noticing how determined she is, Rex asks if Koji's argument had no effect on her at all. For a brief moment, Parna recalls her childhood. The person she loved most was killed during a demon attack, and ever since that day, she's sworn never to forgive demons, no matter what anyone says. That painful memory is enough to erase any doubt from her mind. Later that night, Koji's group sets up camp. While studying a map, Takako explains that they'll have to pass through the fortress city of Selria before continuing to the Demon King's palace. Since Menno can't hide his demonic mana like Alice can, Koji warns him to stay hidden once they reach the human city. Then Koji suddenly realizes something. If Valman was attacked first, could Selria be the next target? Menno explains that the earlier attacks were only meant to declare war and that the demon army is still gathering its main forces for the real invasion. The moment he says that, both Koji and Takako reach the same conclusion. Because Selria lies much closer to the Demon Kingdom, it's the most likely target for the next attack. The following day, the group arrives at Selria's gates. To avoid suspicion, Koji pretends to be a merchant transporting magical material. Unfortunately, one of the guards immediately senses demonic mana coming from the carriage and becomes suspicious. Before things can escalate, Alice suddenly pops out holding a blue devil horn. Thinking quickly, Koji claims he's transporting large amounts of monster materials and explains that the leaking mana is coming from the horns. He even introduces Alice as his younger sister who's visiting the city for sightseeing. Surprisingly, the guard completely believes the story and happily lets them inside, assuming they've come to watch the city's military parade. Confused, Koji asks what parade he's talking about. The guard explains that after the recent demon attacks, the army is holding a grand celebration before marching out to strike back against the demon army. As Koji watches the festivities after entering the city, he can't shake a terrible feeling. While everyone else is celebrating, all he can think about is what will happen if the demons attack during the parade. If Selria becomes a battlefield while the city is completely unprepared, any chance of negotiating peace between humans and demons will disappear forever. Determined to stop that future from becoming reality, Koji decides they must reach the Demon King's palace before the invasion begins and uncover the truth. Takako warns him that the plan is incredibly risky and asks what he'll do if the Demon King really is behind everything. Koji doesn't hesitate. If the Demon King truly wants war, then he'll fight him himself, not as a hero or even as a human, but simply as someone fighting for peace. Alice smiles after hearing his answer. She loves her father more than anyone, yet she also dreams of a world where humans and demons can live together. If the Demon King really has chosen war, she'll stand beside Koji, even if it means opposing her own family. Hidden inside the carriage, Menno wrestles with the same conflict. His loyalty belongs to both the Demon King and Princess Alice. After a long silence, he finally makes his decision. For the sake of peace, he'll follow Alice. Later that evening, Koji notices that Selria's western gate has been sealed in preparation for a possible invasion. Realizing time is running out, he quietly decides they'll have to sneak out through that gate the following morning. Before heading back to the inn, he buys Alice an ice cream. She absolutely loves it, but Koji suddenly realizes they somehow skipped dinner and went straight to dessert. Naturally, he takes her to a nearby restaurant. Unfortunately, the moment they step inside, they find Rex and the rest of the hero's party already eating there. Koji immediately decides this is a battle he has no interest in fighting and quietly turns around for a tactical retreat. The heroes spot him almost instantly and begin chasing him through the streets. After successfully losing them in a nearby alley, Alice notices a crowd gathered around a public demonstration and asks what's going on. Koji explains that the soldiers are putting on a show by defeating a weak monster to boost the citizens' morale and reassure everyone that humanity is ready for war. But before the demonstration can end, everything goes horribly wrong. A gigantic demon suddenly crashes into the arena and crushes the monster beneath its foot. The crowd instantly erupts in panic as everyone realizes this isn't part of the show. Moments later, countless hell beasts begin flooding into the city. Watching the invasion begin, Koji can only let out a sigh. The attack has started far sooner than he expected. That was episode 3. Subscribe so you don't miss the next part, and check out the next video to see what happens next.